Here's the deal with Nico Iamaleava, and bank on it. There's a better chance than you think. Brought to you by Commercial Bank, and Commercial Bank is our fantastic friends I bank with every single day. Member FDIC, life made better. Bank on it. There's a greater chance that Nico Iamaleava will be Tennessee's quarterback in 2026 than anyone, and I'm including George McIntyre, Merklinger in that, Faison Brandon as well. And here's why. As of right now, if the rules don't change, which would involve a lot, it would involve a union and then it would involve a salary cap. And that would all have to happen in about 18 months for Nico, about a year really, for Nico to not get paid and stay around another year. Carson Beck is making more with the Miami Hurricanes than Bo Nix did last year in the NFL. Carson Beck is making more than 5 NFL quarterbacks. So if Nico is elite, and I still believe he will be, he's going to be Tennessee's starting quarterback in 2026. They can pay him the same. It makes perfect sense to me. You show off your wares, you continue to improve. Uh, I thought that there was no doubt that Nico was gone after 2025, but there's a real chance, unless he takes a major step, that he gets a third round grade. And while quarterbacks can move up in the draft and do, that would scare me, knowing that I could come back to goodness knows what it'll be then. Beck got 4.4 million. He could get 5. He could get more. So I believe firmly that there is a better than average chance that Nico will be Tennessee's starting quarterback in 2026. Carson Beck, and I know you and I are not fans of his play. Carson Beck just changed the game.
He did. Now, it's not you're playing a game, bank on it. This is about banking on yourself. Because here's why you have to be careful. Here's what you have to weigh. If you go earlier to the NFL and you become a great quarterback, you will make more money long term, because the earlier you go, the earlier you get your big contract, that second contract. But what if you're an NFL flameout? Because you're going to make more your senior year in college than you will on your rookie scale in the NFL. Mm-hmm. That's provided you're not a top 10 pick or first round pick. If you don't get that second contract, you definitely left money on the table, and maybe millions. So let's play this game real quick with Nico. Does Nico Iamaleava look like a top 10 pick right now, or look like a guy that would get a second contract? Or is he a guy that would probably get drafted, land with a team, and then flame out after 2 years and go to Canada?
I see where you're going with that, but I'm not going to follow your lead, because I think being a successful quarterback in the NFL is about what team and coaches pick you as much as it is about your ability. I think he has the ability. If he went to Sean Payton, yes, I think he would be very good. If he went to a lot of other places, I'd wonder. Let's say the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel, who I think is a good coach, but does he develop quarterbacks? I don't know that Nico would ever be good for him. So that would be my question.
So then you have to take a chance on getting drafted by the right team if you go pro. Put it this way. The safer bet is to stay in college and take that extra nil money. Easily.
Did you just call it nil money?
I said nil money.
Are you starting something? Or are we getting away from NIL using the acronym? I think
some people have already said nil, but yes.
No, I think you're the first.
Well, here's the safer bet is that, because here's the thing. If you take the nil money, the second contract could always be there if you're a good player. You just delay it by a year. Okay, but if you get the second contract, it doesn't really matter when you get it. You'll have generational wealth no matter what. So it doesn't matter how many years you've lost. So I'm with you. I say take the nil money and stay in college another year. Drew Aller at Penn State just came back another year. I'm going to tell you guys exactly why Drew Aller at Penn State came back another year. Because he could have gone pro and been drafted. Everybody saw Drew Aller throw that interception and play horrible against Notre Dame. It's very clear he's a third-day pick, and everybody who watched him knows he's never going to last past the first contract in the NFL. So take the NIL money and come back for another year in college at Penn State. I'm telling you guys this right now. You're right, Dave. it's more common than you think. The question becomes, and this is an odd one, does Tennessee really want Nico to stick around?
Well, and that leads us to the poll question that is up now. So what is the poll question? Is it's Bank on It, brought to you by Commercial Bank?
The poll question is, and I would like to apologize, I cut out my YouTube channel, or the YouTube page.
Here, I'll go ahead and throw it up there. No
I'll let
problem.
you say it.
All right. So the poll question that's up there: do you want Nico back after 2025? Yes, he's great and improving. Nope, ready to move on. Wow, the results are a little bit surprising. Please vote. Bank on It, brought to you by Commercial Bank.
Commercial Bank is your neighborhood bank. What makes us different from other banks? We understand that every customer has unique opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. We don't expect you to fit into the same box as the next person or business. Whether it's purchasing a home, saving for your child's future, or planning for your next vacation, we're with you every step of the way to navigate life's big decisions.
All right. It's roughly 60-40 that our listeners / watchers / viewers that, yes, he's great and improving. That's the answer to the question. Do you want Nico back after 2025? That's 60%. Nope. Ready to move on is 40%. That is pretty stunning.
Do you think now, let's be honest, the backup quarterback's always the most popular. I mean, Nico was beloved when Joe Milton was starting last year. But do you think there's a level of, given how underwhelming he was last year, of excitement over what George McIntyre can do now?
Yes.
And there's an idea of maybe George McIntyre is a better fit for Heupel and maybe has the moxie that Tennessee needs?
Yes. And he's an in-state kid. And the backup quarterback is always the most popular player on the team. And Merklinger didn't do anything last year to make you think that he's the future. So no doubt about it. I mean, I think there's some people that are just already done with Nico. I think that's insane. When I watch him, I see elite ability. I see a pocket that was crumbling around him. Caleb, I still think he's going to be elite in all SEC one day. So to me, it's a bird in the hand versus two in the bush. I think Nico is your guarantee, all but that, pretty close. And I think picking McIntyre or Faison Brandon or Merklinger is pretty darn risky.
All right, I'm going to take this a step further. Because we're saying he could be back in 2026 for nil money.
Stop saying nil money. It's driving everybody crazy because it means nothing. And
it's driving you crazy. Don't speak for everybody.
It's on the message board. No nil. Nil, NIL, nil. All right, go ahead.
A mill and nil. Okay, anyways. Nico, are we sure after 2025 that Josh Heupel will want the boosters to offer Nico the NIL money to stay around? That's the next level of this. Why would he's already commanded $4 million? If you're a booster, why would you pony up more money to keep him around if he doesn't play like a top 10 NFL draft pick next year when you know that George McIntyre is behind and will play for less? And is an in-state kid, and you may fall in love with him. This is why I think he might be gone, because I don't think Tennessee will pay him to stay around.
Well, I think that depends how good George McIntyre is. I mean, if you can, it's like the NFL. If you can save money on a rookie contract, then you should do that, right?
Yes, I agree. And I think at that point, Nico would leave. He would transfer before he would come back to Tennessee. It's funny you bring up Carson Beck. We're hearing stories now. It sounds like Georgia did want Carson Beck. It's just Miami just opened up a checkbook for him to get him. That's
definitely what I've been told.
Yeah, that's what some of the reporting was yesterday. It sounds like Alabama wanted Carson Beck too, funny enough. And so looks like Miami just offered him the most. I think overpaid, if I'm being honest with you. But we'll see how that goes.
I agree with that. I think it's pretty soft that he would up them both on his teammates. That to me is
he wants to be. He's a 20-year-old who's got a really hot influencer girlfriend in Miami. You don't want to hang out with your influencer girlfriend in Miami all the time on South Beach in your Lambo?
I guess. Can you pull up? What does she look like? Is she that good looking? It's like the 5th time I've heard that. But there's no woman that would make me move that far just for I don't know, a little bit more cash. I'm sure Georgia was going to pay him close to $4 million. Joe Neubert Collision Center for nearly 50 years. Neubert Collision Center has been East Tennessee's best choice for quality repair work and fantastic customer service. JoeNeubertCollision.com. JoeNeubertCollision.com. So let's see a picture of this young lady that he moved to Miami for. Are you able to pull up a picture of her? She's an influencer. Heyo.
And she plays for Miami. She plays for Miami, the Hurricanes.
Plays what?
Basketball.
Oh. Okay. She's pretty.
It's pretty hot, right?
You're at the age where that sounds super creepy. I just warned you.
I mean, I'm just saying.
She is not a bad looking lady. But
and she has a twin.
And she has a twin?
She has a twin. Yeah, they're twins.
Like Kanye, I would marry Kate and Ashley.
Yes.
I will say this. Listen, they could have had a fantastic relationship. Take that down. I feel like a creepy old man. They could have had a fantastic relationship in a year when he goes to the NFL. I mean, come on. It's a total cop out. Yes, you get
what if she says, if you come to Miami now, you can date me and my twin?
That's weird. All right. The show represented by Banks & Jones, Tennessee's trial attorney, banksandjones.com. Twins just in general are weird. Would everybody agree with that? Is anybody a twin on the message board? One of my best friends has twins, and they're now 20 years old, and I still cannot tell one from the other at all.
Oh, you're just talking about the concept of twins. Never mind. I thought you were talking about something else.
No, it's just kind of weird, isn't it? So what do you think of Carson Beck's move? If Nico did this, what would you think?
I would think, and if I'm Tennessee, I would be like, okay, bye. He like George McIntyre, get him ready. So I think McIntyre's already a little bit bigger than Nico was when he arrived. So I think he's more ready as a true freshman than Nico was as a true freshman.
Well, and let's put some of this on Nico. I mean, let's not forget this. He came in underweight, and he wasn't ready to play at the beginning of last season. Widely reported, we've reported it. He was not ready, and as according to somebody that was in the huddle with him, his play call sounded like this, and that's about. And everybody had to say, "What in the world are you talking about?" So he was clearly not ready to play. The Carson Beck thing, to me personally, seems like weak sauce. It seems like a guy who's chasing money. Seems like a guy who's chasing a girl. I don't know. Did you ever have any allegiance to Georgia? I mean, did you ever really care what happened to them? It just, to me, I always thought players should be paid, but I will say that it's gone light speed past where I thought it might.